All right, so flat wall is completely clear, and instead of doing a spray wall, which is where you just put up a bunch of random holes, I'm actually gonna set a couple routes, just as warm-up routes for when I get onto the inclined wall, maybe just something that I can circuit, so just climbing a bunch. But I stripped it off yesterday, and I'm gonna take you through step by step as to what I do to set routes. So starting off, you just gotta know what holes you've got. So that's what we're gonna do now. So I've kind of sorted out all of the holes. Ones that I definitely am not gonna put onto the wall are right there. Got all the bolts there. They're a little rusty, but in terms of 2-3 years of use, that's not bad, especially since I haven't been able to close my garage. And I've got 3 main bins right here. These are the ones that I'm gonna really focus on. These are the main ones, my nicest holes from a brand called Necros, same with these. So I'm definitely gonna build a nice circuit with those. That's like a round robin circuit on the flat wall. And I've also got these two, which are as close as you can kind of get to natural rock faces in the sense that they're never a perfect angle. They're not flat like new commercial ones. So you always get kind of a weird grip in terms of as close to rock as what you can do. Like you're not gonna see this kind of hold in a gym anymore. It's very, very oddly shaped, like it's outside. But I've got these 3 bins. The yellow one's definitely gonna be the focus of them today. So I'm just gonna see what I can put up. I'll keep you guys updated. So I don't want this to be too easy, but I don't necessarily want it to be hard. I wanna be able to climb this pretty comfortable without any sort of warm-up, and this will be my warm-up. So I want it to have at least a little bit of finger challenge, but not enough that's gonna get me into trouble. So what I like to do when I'm starting to build a route is I take bolts and I'll actually map out where I want and pop them into place so that I can remember the kind of flow that I want to get as I'm moving through the holes. So that's the first step. And then I'll pick out some holes and lightly screw them in just to kind of get the feel for the angles that I'm looking for. And this will be the process that I'll use to fill this wall out. I'll probably do 1 or 2 of them today, but you know, I've got a lot of time to put more holes on. So as you can see now, all of the handholds are mapped out. Now I just got to pick them out. But I'm planning to have it start right here, have it be a cross move there, dink, dink, and then there, match, over, down, 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 and then back around. And the idea is that I'd be able to circuit this, so just go in circles and circles and circles. So that's the plan. Footholds I like to add at the end because footholds dictate how hard the route is truly gonna be. So I know for a fact that we'll be able to use these 2 as footholds, but I'm gonna need to add a couple footholds down here, maybe right here as well. Either way, I get to pick the difficulty of it, and again, I'm not looking to make it super difficult. I've got some pretty decent holds to work with. That's what I'm gonna go ahead and do now. I'll pick out the handholds, pop them on, and I'll show you kind of the flow that I'm thinking of. As you can see, all of the handholds are set up. I've got a nice flow going for them. So starting right here, bumping with the right hand first. I like to be able to build a route that has a nice flow to it where you have to pick the right holds to grab onto. It's just forcing the right moves when you're route setting. It's one of my favorite things about it is making sure that I find a flow that you've got to stick to, otherwise it's going to be a lot harder. So last thing I'm going to do is put on the footholds, and I'm going to do kind of the same thing where I have extra bolts with me, and I'll just positionally feel where the best spot for a foothold is. So I'm seeing right here and right here off the start. And that's just the whole process that I'm going to take to put down footholds. I'm going to try to find nicer footholds for this middle part here. And I need to make sure to have a foothold here that'll be able to be used in multiple spots. So maybe I'll lower that down a little bit. But that's the thought process behind figuring out how to build this route, make it nice and flowy, make sure that the feet are good enough to where it's going to be nice and easy for a warm-up. Well, we are now officially on to my favorite part. I've got all the holds up. A lot of footholds had to be put down just to make sure that it kept super flowy, and then I'm thinking about footholds, being very mindful of it. But it's time to give it a try, maybe make a couple edits. Gotta chalk up with Pam. Pam's been a long-term companion with me in terms of climbing, but let's give it a try. Oh yeah, perfect. Nice and flowy. Got a couple different options in terms of the way that I need to move my feet. And it's got that perfect amount of challenge so that I can keep myself honest with my fitness. Has a couple small footholds, a couple bigger ones. That'll be a really nice workout, really, really nice. So, overall it took me about an hour, and this is the way that you gotta set walls for sure. You can put up a bunch of sprayed holes, but I like to be able to have at least a couple routes so that you're setting the angles intentionally instead of just going, I'll put this one this way, that one that way, angled. It just makes a lot more sense doing it this way with moves in mind. So that's my process. I might put up one more off camera, but hope you all learned something. Hope you figured a couple things out. If you've got a home wall, cool, let me know about it. Have a good one.